In the far edge of the galaxy, there was a quiet and forgotten world. Long ago, this place was full of war, fire, and death. But now, it was silent. The stars above did not care. The wind moved over broken metal and black sand. This planet had become a graveyard. No one visited it for thousands of years, until today. A mining ship from the Kalari Empire landed with a loud thud. The Kalari were tall, gray-skinned aliens with long arms and sharp eyes. They searched for rare metals on dead planets. They had no interest in history or war stories, only profit mattered. Their machines drilled deep into the ground, pulling up rocks and metal. Everything was normal, until a strange signal came from one of the drills. "Commander Vec, we found something strange," said a worker through the comms. The signal was weak but constant. Not mechanical, not natural. It was steady, like a heartbeat. The Kalari cleared the area. Dust filled the air. Under layers of stone and wreckage, they uncovered something shocking. It was not a machine, not a ship. It was a pod, ancient, round, and covered in strange marks. Inside it was a figure, humanoid, pale skin, black uniform, eyes closed. "What is this creature?" Vec asked. "Is it alive?" "No life signs, but no decay either," said the medic. This might be a human." The word human caused silence in the room. Everyone knew the old stories. Humans were part of the Great War, a race so dangerous that the galaxy united to wipe them out. No one had seen one in 10,000 years. All believed they were extinct. "This must be a relic," said Vec. "Put it in stasis. We take it to the research station." The pod was moved onto the ship. As they left the planet, cameras recorded. The surface. What looked like black hills were actually skulls. Tens of thousands of them, human and alien. The ground had once run red with blood. In the research lab, scientists surrounded the pod. They tried to scan it, but their tools failed. The pod was too strong, too strange. One of them tried to open it, but the system inside responded with a warning. The lights flickered. Power dropped for a second. Then everything returned to normal. That night, one of the guards walked past the pod. He paused. Was that a breath? No, just his mind playing tricks. He walked away. But inside the human's fingers moved slightly. The next day, strange things began to happen. Doors opened on their own. Computers reset without reason. Security logs were erased. Scientists blamed the old station's systems, but some were not sure. Then, during a routine test, the pod released steam. Alarms went off. The human inside opened his eyes. Bright green eyes. Cold. Focused. A camera caught his first movement. He placed a hand on the pod glass and whispered something. The system translated it later. Just 2 words. Not yet. Panic broke out, guards rushed in, but the pod did not open. The human inside simply stared at them, silent, waiting. Vec contacted the Kalari High Council. "We have found a human," he said. "Alive. We need orders." The council members were shocked. "Impossible," one said. "They were destroyed." "This one is real," Vec replied, "and I believe he is dangerous." Still, the council wanted to study him. They sent more scientists and guards. No one thought one human could cause real harm. But they forgot the stories. They forgot the Duridi. They forgot what made humans different. As the camera zoomed in on the pod, they noticed something written in old Terran language on the uniform. "I am the last weapon." The screen went dark for a second. When it turned back on, the human was no longer looking at the glass. He was looking directly at the camera, and he smiled. The galaxy had just made its worst mistake. They had awakened a human. The Kalari scientists believed they could control everything. They had studied many alien species, powerful weapons, and even ancient machines. But this time, they were not studying a thing. They were studying a human. And that was their first mistake. The human inside the pod did not move much. He sat, still, eyes open, watching. He did not speak again. He did not try to escape. But strange things started happening all around the station. First, a power failure. Then, lights began to flicker every time someone walked near the human's pod. The doors made soft clicking sounds even when no one touched them. Guards reported cold air and whispering sounds at night, like distant voices speaking in a language no one could understand. Commander Vec ordered more scans. They used every tool they had, mind readers, body analyzers, and even dream recorders. But none of them worked. The readings were blank or broken. The machines shut down after a few seconds. One young scientist named Tella sat close to the pod one night. She was brave, or maybe just curious. She placed her hand on the glass and whispered, "Can you hear me?" The human turned his head slowly. For a moment, Tella thought she saw pain in his eyes. Or maybe it was something worse. Memories. Heavy, dark, and full of fire. To her shock, the human spoke. His voice was deep and quiet. "Yes," he said. Tella jumped back. "Why are you here?" she asked. The man didn't answer right away. Then he spoke again. "I was made for war," he said. "Built, trained, and left behind." "Are you a soldier?" Tella asked. He shook his head. "I was more than that." Tella's heart beat fast. "What does that mean?" But the man closed his eyes. He said no more. The next day, Tella told Commander Vec, but Vec was not impressed. "He's just trying to scare us," Vec said. "We will unlock his mind. If not with science, then with force." That was the second mistake. The Kalari brought in a mind probe, a machine that could enter a brain and pull out memories. It worked on every known species in the galaxy. But when they used it on the human, the machine started shaking. Smoke poured from it. Sparks flew, then it exploded. One of the scientists lost his arm. The others ran from the lab, screaming. The human remained calm. He watched everything. Silent. The next night, a guard named Jor tried to speak with him. Jor was older than most, and he remembered the war stories from his youth. "My father told me," Jor said, "that your kind could fight without weapons, that you used fear like fire." The human looked at him for the first time. "Fear is not my weapon," he said. "Then what is?" Jor asked. The human leaned forward, his breath fogging the glass. "Purpose," he said. "We never stopped. We never gave up, not even when the galaxy turned against us." Jor stepped back. "Why were you left here?" "They couldn't kill me," the human answered. "So they buried me." Jor was shaking now. "How many more are like you?" The human smiled. "Enough." The station's leaders started to panic. Some wanted to destroy the pod. Others wanted to send it into space, but the council still refused. "This is our chance," they said. "We must learn what made the humans so deadly. We must copy it." So they tried again. More machines, more tests. Each one failed. Systems broke. Doors locked. Lights died. One night, 3 guards vanished. Only their helmets were found. Burned. Melted. Empty. Commander Vec had seen enough. He entered the lab with a weapon in his hand. He stood in front of the pod. "You will answer now," Vec said, "or we will tear this place down around you." The human looked at him slowly. "You think I'm a weapon," he said. Vec raised his blaster. "Aren't you?" The human leaned back and closed his eyes. "I was only one of many," he said. Vec froze. And in that moment, every light in the station turned red. Alarms rang. Warning messages appeared on every screen. "Unknown signal detected. Multiple objects. Approaching." Far out in deep space, something was coming. Not ships, not drones, but others, just like him. The human opened his eyes once more. "You should have left me sleeping." The real war was about to begin. Deep inside the Kalari communication network, a young alien named Drex worked as a low-level systems analyst. He was small, curious, and often ignored. While others followed rules, Drex explored old data files for fun. He liked history, even the parts no one wanted to remember. One night, while searching for hidden logs, Drex found something strange, an encrypted file marked as "Classified Human War Records, Do Not Open." Drex hesitated, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He broke the seal. The screen flashed and a black and white video played. What he saw made his blood run cold. A battlefield. Smoke. Fire. Thousands of alien soldiers charging forward. Then, they came. Humans only a few, maybe 10 or 12. But they moved like shadows, fast and deadly. Their eyes were focused, their bodies covered in strange black armor. They didn't speak. They didn't stop. They tore through lines of soldiers with brutal force. Bare hands, blades, even broken weapons. The footage shook in Drex's hands. These weren't normal beings. They were monsters wrapped in human skin. The next file showed something worse. A human soldier, alone, surrounded by enemy tanks. He whispered a few words into a radio. Seconds later, the tanks exploded from the inside. No weapons fired. No missiles seen. Just boom. Drex scrolled faster. Record after record. All the same. Humans winning when they should have lost. Beating. Enemies 3 times their size. Fighting without fear. Fighting until the very last breath. He played the final log. An alien general was shouting into the camera. They cannot be stopped. You don't understand. They choose to die. They want to fight. They're not like us. They are not like us. The screen went black. Drex sat in silence. He had heard stories, as a child, about the Great War, about the human threat, about how the galaxy came together to destroy them. But no one had explained why they were so feared. Now he knew. It wasn't just the weapons. It was the humans themselves. Their minds, their will, their hunger to survive. He grabbed his communicator and called Commander Vec at the research station. "I need to speak with you. Now," he said, breathless. Vec's voice came back, tired and cold. "We're under alert. Make it fast. You don't understand what you've woken up," Drex said. "That human you found, he's not just a soldier, he's something worse. He's a sign." "A sign of what?" Vec asked. "They're coming back." There was a long pause. "We already know," Vec finally said. "We detected incoming objects." "Then it's already too late," Drex whispered. On the research station, the air felt heavy. No one slept. Security teams walked the halls with shaking hands. The human inside the pod hadn't moved, but something about him felt louder now, like the silence around him was screaming. The station's AI detected deep space signals, old Earth code, long forgotten by the rest of the galaxy, binary pulses, tapping rhythms, simple phrases. Awake. Return. Protocol 9 active. Commander Vec ordered the codes decrypted. One Kelari officer translated the message. It says, "We are the last, we are the blade. We are awake." Vec felt the coldness in his chest. "How many signals?" "Dozens," the officer replied, "all coming from different places." That meant only one thing. Other humans were out there, alive, and they were waking up. Far above, Kelari satellites went dark. Whole defense grids stopped working. Spaceports shut down without warning. On 6 nearby moons, small lights began to blink in patterns. Old Terran war satellites, still working, still waiting, and now, reactivated. On the research station, the human finally moved. He stood up slowly inside the pod. The glass melted away, without a sound. Not shattered, not broken, just gone. Guards pointed their weapons. He raised one hand. Every blaster shut down instantly. The guards froze in fear. He didn't attack. He didn't speak. He walked past them like they weren't even there. He made his way to the control room. Tella stood there, wide-eyed. "What?" "Do you want?" she asked. The human looked at her calmly. "I want you to listen," he said. "To what?" "To history," he replied. "Because you forgot it. You buried it. But it's still here. And we are still here." Outside the station, Drex watched a dark shape appear on his sensor. A ship, not Kelari. Not any known alien design. Smooth, silent, human. He looked at the blinking screen. Incoming transmission. UNS Wraith. Class. Ghost Strike Unit. Drex knew what it meant. The stories were true. The humans weren't dead. They were just waiting. And now the galaxy would remember why they were feared. The ship that arrived outside the research station was silent. No engine noise, no heat signals. It just appeared like a shadow sliding through space. The name on its side read UNS Wraith. It didn't match any design known to the Kalari or any other galactic race. It was old, but deadly. Built not for comfort or beauty, but for one purpose only: war. Commander Vec stared at the screen, his hands cold. "Is this ship from Earth?" he asked his crew. "No known Earth signature," the officer replied. "But its systems are too advanced. Even our scans can't read them." Inside the control room, the human who had awakened, now walking freely, stared at the ship. A small smile appeared on his face. "It's one of ours," he said quietly. "They heard me." Vec stepped forward, pointing his weapon. "What do you mean? Who is on that ship?" The human looked at him, his green eyes calm, sharp. "Brothers, sisters, survivors," Vec shouted. "Why are they coming here?" "To finish what we started," the human answered. "We were built for the last war, and now it has begun again." Outside, the UNS Wraith sent a simple message: "Evacuate the station. This is not a warning." Tella, standing near the console, looked at the message, confused. Why would they tell us to evacuate if they plan to destroy us? The human turned to her. "Because we don't kill without purpose. We are not monsters. We are weapons, but we choose our targets carefully." The Kalari Council sent an urgent message to the station. "Do not engage, stall for time, reinforcements are coming." But they didn't understand. There was no time left. As the Wraith approached, it sent out a pulse, a soft wave of energy. At first, it seemed harmless. But seconds later, all Kalari systems shut down. Lights flickered, machines froze, doors locked in place. Total power loss. The human inside the station looked around. EMP wave, controlled. They want to make sure no one escapes. Panic spread among the crew. Some ran to escape pods. Others hid. Vec tried to send one last message to the council, but the comms were dead. Then something strange happened. The station's walls began to shake, but not from outside. From inside, a soft knocking sound, rhythmic, like footsteps, but heavier. From the hallway, shadows moved. 3 figures entered. Black armor, glowing eyes, silent movements. More humans. Soldiers. Vec aimed his weapon again, even though it was useless now. "Who are you?" he demanded. One of the new arrivals spoke, voice like gravel. "Strike unit." 7 Ghost Team, UN's Protocol 9. They all looked the same, calm, controlled, precise. They didn't shout. They didn't threaten. They just walked forward. The first human, the one who had been asleep for so long, stepped between the Kalari and the new soldiers. "They're not enemies," he said. "They're witnesses. They didn't know what they were waking up." One of the new humans nodded. "This galaxy forgot us, now it must remember." Tella stepped forward. "Please. Not all of us want war." The leader looked at her. "And not all of us want revenge," he said. Suddenly, the screens lit up. Across the galaxy, other signals appeared. More ships, more black-armored soldiers. From moons, dead planets, and forgotten war bunkers, they were waking up. Hundreds, thousands, a whole hidden army of sleeping humans, rising. Vec fell to his knees. "It's the end," he whispered. "No," the first human said. "It's the beginning." The UNS Wraith docked quietly. No force, no bombs, just presence, heavy and clear. The humans took control of the station. Without firing a shot, the Kalari were allowed to leave unharmed. No blood, no battle. Tella stayed. She watched as the humans activated old systems, pulled up maps of past wars, and reconnected to networks long thought destroyed. "Why are you doing this?" she asked the first human. He looked at her. "Because we were never gone," he said. "We were buried, forgotten, but we remember everything." "Are you going to take revenge?" He paused. "No," he said. "We're going to make sure no one ever forgets us again." Tella whispered. You could burn the galaxy if you wanted. He smiled faintly. We don't need to. They'll burn themselves once they remember what fear really is. The stars outside grew quiet again, but across the galaxy a silent message began to spread. They are back, the weapons we buried, the ghosts we feared, and the galaxy finally remembered the one truth it had tried so hard to forget. The deadliest weapons were not alien-made. They were human. The news of the humans' return spread like wildfire. Across the galaxy, panic grew. Every government, every military, every council held emergency meetings. Whispers filled the air. They're alive. They never died. They're waking, up everywhere. On planets where people had long forgotten Earth, old fears returned. Some tried to deny it. Others remembered the stories. The black-armored ghosts, the unstoppable force, the soldiers who never surrendered. On a mining moon far from any core system, a group of alien workers found an old underground base. They opened it, thinking they could sell whatever was inside. What they found instead were rows of frozen pods, each holding a human. The workers ran. The base sent out a signal. Another unit woke up. Meanwhile, inside the Kalari station, Tella walked beside the first human, now known as Ash. He seemed calm, but his eyes were always watching, always calculating. Why now? Tella asked. Why are you all waking up at the same time? Ash stopped and looked at the stars through the window. There was a signal, he said. It came from deep space. We don't know who sent it, but it carried an old Earth code. It reached all of us at once. Who sent it? She asked. Ash's face became hard. Maybe an ally, maybe an enemy. Doesn't matter now, the galaxy knows we're here. The UNS Wraith had become a command ship. Humans from other places were arriving. On stealth ships, small crafts, even escape pods reprogrammed to fly like war machines. Each human brought knowledge, training, and memories from a war that had never truly ended. Commander Vec had been sent back to the Kalari homeworld. He was not punished. The Council wanted answers, but he had none. They are not machines, he told them. They are people, with minds sharper than any weapon we've built. They don't need to conquer us. They just need to show up, and we fall apart. Back on the station, Ash and his team began rebuilding their systems. They didn't force anyone to help. Yet some aliens volunteered, out of fear, or respect, or maybe hope. Tella stayed, learning everything she could. One night she asked Ash, "Do you still think like a soldier?" He looked at her. "No," he said. "Now I think like a survivor, and survivors don't trust peace. They prepare." She didn't argue. She had seen what they could do with no weapons, no ships, no help. The humans didn't shout, they didn't brag. But their silence spoke louder than any war cry. In deep space, other races began to panic. The Zarn Empire sent fleets toward human signals, hoping to crush them quickly. None returned. The ships simply vanished. No wreckage, no distress call. They do. Council of 12 Worlds called for peace talks. Ash agreed to send a message. "We do not seek war," the message said. "But if you come for us, we will remind you who taught this galaxy how to fight. Simple, clear, cold." The response? Silence. The Kalari, once proud and powerful, now debated whether to hide or serve. Some wanted to destroy the old Terran bases, but each attempt failed. Their bombs wouldn't detonate. Their ships refused to fly into old Earth zones. It was as if something was stopping them, something old and buried deep in their own systems. Tella found the answer, a secret code, left long ago in the heart of the Galactic network, a human code, a warning. If you erase us, you erase yourselves. It was embedded into every system, every satellite, every communication channel. The humans hadn't just fought wars. They had shaped the galaxy's future, built its foundations, and now, that foundation belonged to them again. Ash stood in front of a large screen, watching stars light up with signals from other human units. "They never understood," he said to his team. "We weren't built to rule. We were built to end wars quickly, decisively, but they feared us and so they buried us." "And now?" someone asked. "Now they remember why they were right to be afraid." Across the stars, a final signal came. Through, one Ash had waited for, a single word. Prime. He smiled. The first unit is awake. Tella looked at him. What does that mean? Ash answered without blinking. It means the strongest of us has returned, the one they couldn't stop, the one they swore was a myth. He looked out into the void. Now the galaxy will meet the reason why even we were afraid. The Deadliest. Weapon hadn't arrived yet, but it was coming. The word Prime echoed through the old human network like a spark hitting dry leaves. Every sleeping base, every hidden satellite, every ghost ship activated instantly. The first unit had awakened, the original soldier, the one designed before all others, the one whose name was whispered in fear even among humans. Ash stood silently as the message repeated. Prime active, coordinates locked, status unknown. Tella saw something in Ash's eyes she hadn't seen before. Not fear, not anger, something colder. Respect and caution. Who is Prime? She asked. Ash replied, he's not a who. He's a force, a prototype created before the wars started. When Earth thought the universe was impossible to survive, they made something that could never be broken. That was Prime. Tella blinked. Stronger than you? Ash nodded. Stronger than all of us. The message didn't say where Prime was exactly, but the pattern was clear. Ancient systems were waking up across dead sectors. Long-dead space stations powered up. Defense grids locked onto nothing. And deep in the black, one ship began to move. It had no name. It had no crew. But inside it was the one thing the galaxy was never supposed to see again. Meanwhile, on the council planet, fear had turned into desperation. Leaders from dozens of species screamed at each other over what to do. Some called for surrender. Others wanted to launch every fleet at the humans before it was too late. But no one could agree, because no one truly understood what they were facing. One Zarn general stood up and said, "They are not trying to rule us, they are trying to remind us. That's worse." Back on the Kilari station, Ash gathered his team. He looked at them one by one. The galaxy is moving fast. Some will strike, others will run. But they all forgot one thing. Prime doesn't care about politics, he only sees threats. One soldier spoke. Then why wake him? We didn't, Ash said. Someone else did, someone who knows what's coming. Suddenly alarms rang across the station. A ship was entering orbit. It wasn't human, but it wasn't fully alien either. Its design was a mix. Old Terran. Armor, alien engines, strange dark markings across the hull. Ash narrowed his eyes. That's not a normal ship, Tella asked. What is it? Ash replied. A hybrid. Something made in secret. Someone has been experimenting with human tech. The ship sent a transmission. Do not fire, we carry knowledge. The humans allowed it to land. From the ship came a group of scientists, mixed species, Kalari, Zarn, and others. But leading them was something shocking. A young clone of a human. Not natural born, created. Ash stepped forward. What are you? The clone looked at him calmly. I'm a test, a copy, built from what we found in the ruins of Earth. Why are you here? To warn you. Others are building more, using what you left behind. They want to control Prime. Ash's face became dark. You don't control Prime. You survive him. The scientists showed them data, secret programs, stolen DNA, hidden labs spread across the galaxy. Someone had been planning this for years. They hadn't just feared humans. They had tried to remake them, Tella said. They're building an army, Ash nodded. They're trying to play with fire. The clone added, there is one more thing. Prime is not waking alone. Everyone in the room went still. What do you mean? Ash asked. There are others like him, deep sleepers, special projects, each built for a different kind of war. Prime was the first, but not the last. The clone looked up. They are all waking now. Across the galaxy, old human vaults cracked open. Artificial suns switched on. Hidden training programs restarted after centuries. War machines, thought long dead, stood up again. And deep in the void, the silent ship carrying Prime changed course. It was heading to the nearest galactic command hub. No warnings, no messages, just a quiet path toward the heart of power. Back on the station, Tella asked Ash, "What happens now?" He answered with steel in his voice. "Now the galaxy must decide, remember with respect, or remember with pain." The humans gathered their gear. The air around them felt heavy, like a storm waiting to fall. The clone watched silently, as if unsure what side to take. Ash looked at him. "You're not one of us, but you carry our shadow. Make sure it doesn't burn you." The station's lights flickered. The countdown had begun. The deadliest weapons weren't just human. They were returning. The ship carrying Prime moved silently across space, like a predator that didn't need to roar. It passed through defense grids, minefields, and warning zones. Nothing stopped it. Nothing even tried. The galaxy had finally understood what was coming, and fear had taken over. In the command center of the Kalari homeworld, alarms kept ringing. Dozens of alien leaders argued, but all their words meant nothing. They had seen the signals. They had seen the black ships rising again. And now the oldest one was moving toward them. One commander shouted, "We must launch everything now, before it's too late." Another shouted back, "Nothing can stop it. That ship is a message, not a weapon." At the same time, on the Kalari station, Ash and his team watched the live feed. Prime's ship was close now, just hours away from the center of power. No communication, no demands, just steady movement. Tella asked, "What will he do?" Ash didn't blink. Whatever he was created to do. Everyone fell silent. Ash finally spoke again. "There's something you need to understand. Prime doesn't hate. He doesn't feel. He was built to win. That's all," Tella said softly. "Then there's no way to stop him." "There is one way," Ash replied. "He needs to be reminded that we are not weapons anymore. We're human." The galaxy held its breath. In a desperate move, the Council of 12 sent a fleet of peace envoys. They didn't carry weapons, just messages, old Earth recordings, and a copy of the original Terran ceasefire treaty. They begged the ship to respond. It didn't. Instead, Prime's ship did something unexpected. It stopped. Right before entering the capital system, the ship simply halted. For the first time, the galaxy dared to hope. On board the Kalari station, a signal arrived. Not in alien code, not in modern language. It was old Earth English. Just 3 words. "Request. Ash only." Tella turned to Ash. "He wants to. See you?" Ash nodded. "Then I'll go." Within minutes, a drop pod launched. Ash entered the silent ship alone. The walls were dark steel. The air felt heavy. The lights turned on slowly, revealing a chamber with a tall figure standing in the middle, motionless. Prime. He looked human, but more. Taller, broader, covered in old black armor that hummed with quiet energy. No helmet, just cold eyes that had seen too many wars. Ash stepped forward. No handshake. No salute. Just silence. "You called," Ash said. Prime's voice was low, deep, and mechanical. "Status. Threat confirmed. Mission. Activate control protocol." Ash took a breath. "There is no threat anymore." "Negative," Prime replied. "Records show galactic betrayal. Attempted erasure of humankind. System response required." Ash spoke carefully. "They feared us, yes, but they didn't kill us. They buried us, and now they remember." "Isn't that enough?" Prime's eyes glowed faintly. "Fear is weakness. Memory is not respect." Ash walked closer. "Then show them strength with control, not destruction." There was a pause. Then Prime asked, "Are we still weapons?" Ash shook his head. "No, we are survivors, protectors, builders." "Purpose?" Prime asked again. Ash smiled. "To remind the galaxy that peace came from fire, and that fire still lives, but only if needed." Another pause. Finally, Prime stepped back. "Understood," he said. Control protocol paused, awaiting new directive. Ash breathed out. Then here it is. Watch. Wait. But do not strike unless struck first. Prime nodded once. The galaxy would live, for now. Ash returned to the station. Across the stars, human units powered down. Ships returned to silent mode. Old bases closed again, but this time, with eyes open, watching. Tella met him at the landing. "Doc, did it work?" Ash nodded. "He won't destroy anything, not yet." "What changed his mind?" she asked. Ash looked toward the stars. He didn't need to be reminded that he's powerful. He needed to remember that we chose to be more than that. In the following weeks, the galaxy began to rebuild. The Council sent open messages of respect. Worlds that once erased Earth from history now taught its legacy. Fear turned into caution. Caution turned into respect. The humans did not demand territory. They did not take revenge. But every race, every leader, every soldier knew the truth. Somewhere out there, in dark places and silent ships, the deadliest force ever made was still watching, still human, still waiting. And no one would ever forget. Again, because the galaxy finally understood. The deadliest weapons weren't alien-made. They were human.